There are concerns that if this were a proper national security arrest, no amount of persuasion would have stopped it.
You know, Afenyo-Markin yesterday pleaded, if I call him, ask him whether he didn't plead yesterday that he will present him this morning at 10 o'clock. That is what led to the abrogation of the operation. Other than that, all of them will have spent a night in a vigil in his house to prevent the security from exercising their responsibility.
Because an arrest operation properly so constituted should have gone through.
That's what I'm saying. Because he pleaded, and because we are a listening government, we are not like the MPP, who will go to a church where Chatuchikata and the wife were worshipping and will still pluck them out like mangoes from a tree, in spite of the protestations of the clergy. Jerry Rawlings was invited. He responded. Honorable Yiti Mensah was arrested like a cock. Said Sinari, the same. Just recently, wasn't Bobie arrested in his studio for daring to talk about government's complicity in land acquisition? Wasn't Mensah Thompson arrested like an armed robber because he dared to talk about the president's children using the presidential aircraft? What are we talking about here? The Akama will say, I didn't even who be there. What have we seen in this country?
So for you, nothing on what happened yesterday?
No. Look, what I would say here is that, look, I'm happy Seth mentioned that he sat in that position Ntim Fordjour is sitting in.
That's what, 8 years ago?
Yes, last week I asked him, would he have conducted himself the way Ntim Fordjour is conducting himself? When you have made a pronouncement, and the pronouncement is yet to be proven, and you've been queried about it, do you go about repeating those pronouncements? You understand? Repeating those announcements on various media. Would you do that? 2, would he have exercised those opportunities and channels open to him as a ranking member of parliament instead of what Ntim Fordjour did? I know him. There were so many instances of this issue where he conducted himself appropriately, the way an MP should conduct himself. Because we, as MP, you have opportunities to seek a sort of information. Even an ordinary Ghanaian, it has a right to RTI.
Yeah.
So if you've done this, and you yourself, you know, you've put out there false information. Because he says it's suspicion. How can you just go on a tangent of a suspicion and you say now you are inviting people to come and brief you? What right are you exercising without your committee of parliament? Ask him. I've been a ranking member before. I've been a chairman of a committee before. Both sides, the leadership of the committee will agree that let's have this meeting. It can be a request from any member to the leadership. And when it's so agreed, then we do that. But you can't go and make pronouncements out there and now you call security agencies to come and brief you. Brief you as who? As what?
As a ranking member on the committee.
A ranking member doesn't work alone.
The minority says he spoke on their behalf.
What I'm saying that the minority alone cannot call for that meeting. He's here. Ask him whether the minority will request for a meeting through the chairman of the committee and the clerk. That's the parliamentary procedure. You think that any minority can ask for a briefing, majority can, then how are we going to manage information and such sensitive information from the security services? If the defense and interior committee on the minority will ask for a meeting and the majority will also ask for a meeting. And those briefings could vary depending on situations. So how do we have a cohesive message as a group? So what I'm saying here is that, look, somebody must advise him to Fordjour, and I will let Afenyo-Markin to exercise that opportunity given him today, 10 o'clock, he must present Ntim Fordjour for the questioning that he is supposed to be questioned, so that we can all have our peace. Because what they did yesterday was unruly and was total disrespect to the security services. And I heard one of the people talking about what? Warrant. Check the Public Offences Act. A police officer from the rank of a superintendent can effect an arrest without a warrant. You mean when a police officer sees somebody committing a crime, he must go for a warrant before he arrests the person? You understand?
Yeah.
And this one, you have been invited. All this invitation is nothing.
He's denied receiving any invitation.
The invitation was extended to him through his minority leader. Ask him. Through his minority leader. And two, let me say this. Me, between 2017, January to August, I visited the police headquarters more than 13 times. I visited Yoko more than 5 times. I had NIB in my house, then BNI.
On what grounds?
Said no's. Said no's. I didn't know what I had done. And you're talking about people's houses. Didn't Abronye, with all that his dental formation.
Oh no, we'll take it easy.
Enter my house, harass my wife and children over a presumed car. So these things have happened. You see, what was him is the fact that when it happens to anybody from the MPP, then hell must break loose. But when it happens to anybody from the NDC, we are not human beings.
Oh, no, see,
so those things should not be talked about.
Tangent, then it feeds into the narrative of the tit for tat and eye for an eye.
I'm saying that. If it was right when they did it,
it is right.
It cannot be wrong today. They cannot claim it to be wrong today. Why do you think? Are they special human beings? Are they better than us? If we all agree, if we are saying that it is all right, then from today, let all of us learn from it.
But will 2 wrongs make a right?
What are you talking about? Was it right when they did it to Chachu Chikata?
And you were not happy then?
Because before then, we had the opportunity to do that. We did it. Look, Professor Mills came to set an example.
So
when they did all those things, Professor Mills came and we said, no. Father for all, let it be. Ask him. Accept that we even had their people stay in office for 6 months. Some of their chief executives. Because we thought that let the past be the past. But in spite of those beautiful, magnanimous situations we created, they didn't see it as something good enough to help us repair the image of governance. They still went after us brutally. What didn't happen to Sam George at Ayawaso West Wogon? Did they consider that he was an MP? Did they? Even that one, when the white paper has been issued, the government still did not even punish the people who were involved. I won't say 2 wrongs make a right, but sometimes you need to tell somebody that the blood that runs through his veins is the same blood that runs through yours. So he cannot be treated specially, and you'll be treated like trash. Look,
you see, what we've managed to do is to create controversies around this matter and leave the actual issue. We haven't dealt with whether or not indeed.
From 10 o'clock this morning, I'm sure the actual issue will be dealt with if Ntim Fordjour becomes civil enough.
If the minority leader begged that he would present the Asen South MP today at 10 a.m., what concessions were made on your part?
Yeah, so we agreed that we are holding
Because,
we are holding him to his word. And if he doesn't, we shall pluck him from his house.
Because you see, there are concerns that there are instances where persons have been invited, they attend upon the invitation, and they are arrested.
When you attend upon an invitation, the police takes your statement. The police have the right to decide that whether the statement you're giving is enough for them to charge you. And when they charge you, it's either they keep you or you'll be granted self-recognizance bail. It's the right of the police. You understand? You are invited. You write your statement. They question you. When they question you, the answers you give will tell the police what action to take next. Whether to charge you formally and whether they should let you go on a bail. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Ntim Fordjour presenting himself to the police. He is lucky, he is privileged as a member of parliament. He will be considered, his statement will not, maybe he will give an opportunity to go home and report to the police. Some of us went through that. And I'm saying that once he's been invited, he should honor that invitation. Because if you don't honor it, you are showing gross disrespect to the security agencies. And they are mandated by law to take any action necessary to make sure you respect the law. That's all. He must be a responsible citizen and respond to the invitation. Just as any member. Look, what happened to Jechi Kwesi?
Yesterday he was acquitted and discharged.
Yes. But before then?
Accused of perjury.
Didn't they send policemen, armored vehicle to his house? Didn't they? He was lucky he was in parliament then.
Yeah.
So immediately from parliament, we have to escort him to the police headquarters. So, series of these issues have happened. That shouldn't make somebody see this as a novelty. But the way the MPP are dramatizing this thing, as if this is the first time we've seen it in our body politics, and as such, the NDC. And I want to tell Seth, the NDC government will not willfully, intentionally silence its critics. Look, what's our criticism having to people right now? 3 months.
Making, actually.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they are setting an agenda because a lot of their people, they are aware because of ORA and because of other investigations. A lot of their people have been conducted themselves. Look, let me give you an example.
Is the ORA targeting their people only?
The ORA is targeting those who have been in office and misconducted themselves. So he said, sitting here, if he has not done anything, why should he be worried? It's a just for who sat on television and said, if she has done what they asked her to do, by this time, she will also be having sleepless nights like them. you understand?
They're having sleepless nights.
Yeah, she said it. I didn't say it. I just said it. He said some of them are having sleepless nights. But because she didn't do what they asked her to do, she's okay. She's having a peaceful sleep. So Seth is in here, I know he's been having a peaceful sleep. You understand? Yeah. Because he's sure that he has not misconducted himself in any way. So why would ORA go after him? Or why would somebody want to arrest him? He's there.
Right.
Has he been invited to any? Has he heard of any invitation? No.
Well, we haven't heard. I don't know if you received any.
Once they invite me, I will know.
Very well.
And the point is that maybe I can't tell because you never know.
You never know.
You've been criticizing government. Have you been invited? Have you somebody tried to silence you?
How often do I criticize government?
In fact, this morning you even
criticizing government because of the modus operandi.
And has anyone sent you a message that you are being invited?
Perhaps after
maybe
the show.
After the show, they'll be waiting for me downstairs.
But Honorable Echampo, I mean, your side, the minority side, has petitioned the Speaker to intervene in these matters. Parliament is not in session.
Typical.
We know that the Speaker is also, I think, not in the jurisdiction. So, I mean, are we just dancing around
we are not dancing. And that's why I was listening.
Me. Okwe was petitioned.
Why are you ruling that thing out like that?
Okwe was petitioned. Okwe said that if I've committed a criminal offense, I should go and face it. Like Okwe.
Let me go on. You see, Ntim Fordjour, and he knows, is a ranking member. And in Parliament, we operate through the structures.
Wasn't I a ranking member?
Oh, I haven't denied you. Oh, Honorable, I can't do that. And the issues that we're discussing, I really, that December 7th, the temperature is a different matter. Unfortunately, I will not defend that action they took against me. And I'll speak against it because it is improper. Irrespective, even if he's inciting people for his status as an opinion person in a community and a statesperson, the law enforcement agency also needs to apply some respect to individuals. The unfortunate thing is that many a time when they are in theater, matters go haywire. I have had occasion to defend them. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not new to this. Now I go further to state that I will say that I think government is window dressing the issue. You rightly put it. The substantive matter, how we are approaching it. Like you said, Speaker is not in the jurisdiction. Okay, fair enough. The chairperson to the committee is not in the jurisdiction. The committee ranking member wrote to the chairperson. So he's kicked in procedural practice. And then he goes further with his members to do a whistleblowing statement. And so the president sees it and said, this is an important matter. And they didn't lay claim.
No, said. He didn't write to the chairman of the committee.
No, there's a copy of it.
He didn't write to the chairman before.
No.
Before his
No,
press
he
conference.
did.
Did this letter come after the press?
After the press conference.
No.
So it was on hindsight.
Because I went, just give me a second. I went in to find out the facts before I came in. So I said, how did you arrive here? He says, no, let me just share. So we had a conversation, me and him, when he was mid-ranking member. In fact, he called me and I said, oh, that's a beautiful thing, I'm happy for you. But the practice is that anything that you want to do, you're chairperson and you are in leadership. So try and share with them because the two of you conduct leadership of the committee. And so he wrote to him on not one matter. That is my concern. He wrote to him on 3 matters, like I told you.
The
Sapperman issue, and then the cocaine bastard, and then this airport matter. Now, my worry was that, that's what I'm saying about the window dressing. That's why I'm talking about, it's not just, when Minister Kwachi came to speak, he only zeroed in on the first matter. And ever since, that has been the matter that is being repeated. So, sitting back and observing and analyzing what is happening, I'm asking myself, are we just weaponizing that against the character who sent a whistleblowing and did not just only zero in on one matter? Me, you see, as a student of analysis, I am free to go to town.
Yes.
You agree with me? So the beauty is that let us put all the puzzle together. Feast. That's why I give my narrative the way I give. And I'm sitting back as an analyst watching the space within our public safety. And I'm asking and seeing what is happening. Things that I've seen play itself in theater in times past, playing themselves again.
Currently.
So when I look into it, I ask myself, where are we headed? That's why I said we need to take deep thought of occurrences that we are seeing. Is our security the same security that we keep touting about? Is it the same thing that we say we are, that we're doing? That is my concern. And that is why I don't want half-baked meals. Put the matter squarely before the person. Like me, you are asking, this morning they are going to go to the offices, like the minority leader, maybe his counsel who will be representing him, will be there. This is proper procedure. If you go through this whole conversation we are having wouldn't happen.
Perhaps it had to take yesterday to get today to happen.
No, but let me tell you something. If it had to take yesterday to get today to happen, is that the right way?
Because how many hours have this matter been in all the media space? Is that what we want?
But it's simple.
If
he has made himself available,
exactly. But you see, making yourself available, you know, procedurally, if you want him, and as a ranking member, if he's on his way to also go and submit something to the clerk in committee, he can't stay in.
I agree with you.
Asin North,
I agree with you.
In Asin South, he has to come to the center.
Yes.
And so you find him in Accra. The water that you find him in Accra necessarily do not mean he's just hiding somewhere in Accra. And definitely, as an operative of state, he needs to have an abode in Accra. You can't come to Accra and say
so that is a responsibility on him to prove that he's still engaged in parliamentary business.
Of course, but he's still a member of parliament.
You and I should.
And he was conducting parliamentary business at the time.
As a leader, I wouldn't know. But in the circumstance, if he says so, Why should I doubt him?
Said, but you and I should agree on the fact that, look, this is somebody who have made a statement. He's been invited. Under normal circumstance, when you make a statement, in all fairness, and anyone says that the statement you have made is injurious, is not right, is going to affect me, you put a seizure on it. But the man says that he is repeating his suspicions until he's convinced that what he suspects is not true. Look, your suspicion is your suspicion. Your suspicion cannot be intelligence. There's difference between suspicion, intelligence, information, and even news.
But investigations can be conducted based on suspicion.
Yes. So what I'm saying that you have suspicion. You use wrong medium. Because you cannot just throw suspicion out there.
Right.
Because it is suspicion. That's why you must first conduct your investigation and make sure your suspicion through the investigation becomes intelligence. You understand? Then you can decide to take the next action.
But what if I do not have the resources to do that? For which reason I put it out there so that the states, officially mandated agencies to engage in the investigation
It's
of my
a risk.
suspicion.
It's a risk you take it. If you don't have evidence to back your suspicion, it's a risk you take it. Because when your suspicion is proven false, what have you done? False information, deception. You understand? That's more reason. You must process the suspicion you have. Let it go through what we call decision-making process. Put it in your black box. Think about it. Get other information that you're looking for. Go about it, process it before you are sure. Then you can know whether what you have is authentic for public consumption or not. Even as a journalist, you don't just go writing or making reports based on suspicion. You have to investigate first.
True.
When you go into the right to information bill, it didn't say because you have right to information, you can apply for it when you are sure, you are convinced that the information you are seeking is in the public interest.
Very well. Very well.
You must measure the suspicion you have. Is it in public interest? Let me ask for example. I hear somebody tells me that Seth was seen last night entering somebody's house through the window. Then I go out publicly and say it. I wouldn't process that information. I wouldn't make sure that what the person is saying is true or false before I go out there, then I go publicly. And that is what Ntim Fordjour did. And I told you here last week that when he did it, me sitting here as a friend, as a colleague in the pasture, I sent him a message.
Oh no, you see, was it not based on all this suspicion that when he put out there, the president found a palpable reason to order an investigation?
And so you've had the whole president, out of respect for you, asking the security services to collaborate with you.
Has that begun, the president's directive for an investigation?
And so he was invited.
This is where my issue comes in. Give me a second. This is where I was. Then we need batched in. Now, when the president issued the statement, did the security people write to him immediately?
They did that because Afenyo-Markin
has insisted that
if they want to deal with any member of his minority,
they should go through him.
Afenyo is not a law.
Afenyo is not the speaker.
No, wait a minute.
They don't deal with the speaker.
The honorable minority leader is not a law unto himself. You know. And the law works.
I'm happy you are making this statement.
Of course, the law works. The point is that you and I appreciate that
Seth,
we need to have our say. You have your way, and then we concur to do business.
Do you know why?
One of the reasons why I'm saying so is this: if he falls foul to the law will deal with him. That is the essence why I'm making the statement.
Yeah. Do you know something? If you call Kumi, your MP faculty,
wait a minute.
Me sent him a message and said, bro,
Kumi's matter.
Get out of the chamber. He says that his minority leader has assured him that nothing will happen to him. I said, bro, you will be whisked alone, and that day nobody will be there with you. because you will be committing an offense.
Let me advance on this very matter. My concern is that I say the approach that we are using is not good. It's disproportionate.
How?
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. We are running a parallel democracy like any of the advanced democracies that you know. Say, for instance, Canada, the Royal Canadian Military Metropolitan Police. Have you read in any tabloid that misinformation or disinformation is put out there by an opposition leader, a minority leader, and then they run the police to go and arrest
Because they
him?
are responsible. They will not make.
But the
they will not
point
make
is
those
that
mistakes.
we can't say the ranking member.
responsible.
We can't say the ranking member is irresponsible. The ranking member did not speak in his capacity as just ordinarily Ntim Fordjour.
Said, let me
He
give you an
wouldn't have
example.
had that occasion.
Let me give you an example.
The place he addressed the matter. Let me do this.
No.
The place he addressed.
No, he said an example. I want to give you an example.
Let me do this. Where he spoke and where he addressed the matter is the fora and is the area where minority addresses their statements.
So he spoke on behalf of the minority.
He didn't speak alone. When he was speaking, when he made a press conference, he wasn't alone. He was with some of the minority committee members on the statement. This is where my matter comes in.
No.
So once these things occur.
Have you seen the video?
Oh yes. That is why I came in, because I also had to follow the process. Because when I'm doing analysis and I err, and you pull me, I'll tell you no. You know me, I'll tell you I've erred. But my concern
made
is
a
that
press conference before.
when that happened, instead of government, I'm coming before the security agencies will come in. The government minister of communication came out telling us how government is going to deal with him. Was that good faith?
What
Him
we are
and
saying-
not
Was
the
that
matter.
good faith? And not even looking at the matter.
Because he has acted irresponsibly.
So Nihu judges
let me give you something. Let me give you
Who's the
something.
judge of
I just want to give an
You
example.
tell me, who's the judge of responsibility?
I want to give you an example. You cited, look, recently, two Labour
Briefly,
MPs,
just a few seconds.
two Labour MPs, without authority of the minority in UK, decided to go to Israel. They were deported. Did you hear what Badenoch said? That the minority, the opposition, Labour, will not defend them.
No, it's Labour who is in government now.
No, the conservatives, conservatives will not defend them if they acted on their own.
On their own.
You understand?
So
I made a
in
those jurisdictions, when you act irresponsible,
I established that point before I arrived. I told you that even when they are in recess now, before a member of parliament leaves the jurisdiction, you need permission from the speaker. Procedure.
yes.
Very well.
So in this situation, why didn't he exercise that responsibility?
You answered
he
that
did
question
it.
after the break.
He did it.
Hold on for me. The Honorable Vanderpuye is here. Honorable Champon is also here. This is Breakfast Daily. Let me take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll wrap up on this matter regarding the suspicious flights saga. Thank you. Stay with us.